traditional pollutants, though the Supreme Court has repeatedly upheld the endangerment finding, most recently in 2022. The scientific basis cited by the administration relied on a disputed Energy Department report widely criticized for errors and misrepresenting studies. Environmental advocates warn the rollback favors gas-guzzling vehicles, undermining the U.S. auto industry's competitiveness in the electric vehicle market. They also highlighted uncounted benefits like lives saved from cleaner air and fuel savings from efficient cars. We have more international updates on the other side, but for now, time for a short break again. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz and French President Emmanuel Macron will open and close the first day of the Munich Security Conference amid strained Europe-US ties. Russia's war in Ukraine entering its fifth year and European NATO defense efforts are key topics. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky are scheduled to speak over the weekend. More than 60 heads of state and around 100 foreign and defense ministers have gathered in Munich under high security with 5,000 police deployed. Both Merz and Macron are scheduled to speak on Friday. The conference comes amid U.S. criticisms of Europe over defense spending and tensions heightened by previous threats to annex Greenland. Rubio's appearance follows last year's controversial speech by Vice President J.D. Vance, criticizing European policies on immigration and free speech. Now, Cuba is willing to hold dialogue with the United States, but not under pressure or preconditions. President Miguel Diaz-Canel said Thursday after months of threats from U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump has vowed to cut off Cuba's access to oil and warned that island was ready to fall, urging it to make a deal with Washington, though he has not specified what such a deal could involve, and Havana denies that negotiations are underway. Cuba has long relied on oil supplies from Venezuela, and the loss of that support has worsened an already severe fuel crisis. The pressure has contributed to widespread blackouts and strained public services, raising fears of prolonged power outages. The economic crisis has also been deepened by a sharp decline in tourism following the COVID-19 pandemic, leaving many hotels partly empty and cutting off a key source of foreign revenue. The U.S. State Department announced $6 million in aid to Cubans through the Catholic Church, following an earlier $3 million package delivered through the same channels. Cuban officials blame U.S. sanctions for the island's worst economic crisis in decades, marked by shortages of fuel, food and medicine, while observers also cite poor economic management and the collapse of tourism as major contributing factors. Now, England's High Court on Friday upheld the challenge to the UK government's ban on activist group Palestine Action, ruling that it interfered with the right to freedom of speech and assembly. The judges said that only a very small number of the group's activities amounted to acts of terrorism, making the ban disproportionate. They noted the proscription significantly limited public expression and assembly. The government responded quickly, with Interior Minister Shabana Mahmood announcing plans to appeal the decision. She emphasized the importance of maintaining powers to protect national security and public safety. Outside the court, supporters of the ruling erupted in cheers when the judgment was read. The ban, initially introduced in July under the UK's 2000 Terrorism Act, will remain in place while the appeal proceeds. Since July, nearly 3,000 people, including some in their 80s, have been arrested and hundreds charged for demonstrating in support of Palestine Action, with many detained for holding up posters, according to protest organizers defend their juries. Now time for sports update. Nepal Football Association (NFA) has resumed its election process after the Patan High Court overturned a stay order that had temporarily halted the polls. The elections, initially scheduled 5 months ahead of the official term and on June 18, had been challenged by stakeholders seeking to stop the early vote. The court's previous order had paused the election following a case filed by several NFA members, including Amit Khatri and Vice President Birat Jongsai. Following the removal of the stay, NFA proceeded with an internal election on Friday to select representatives for 9 voting rights among the 14 Martyrs Memorial seat. And Nepal's football body NFA resumes elections after Patan High Court lifts stay, ensuring governance and transparency. That is all for the moment here on NTV World Primetime News. Our next bulletin will be at 2200 hours Nepal time. Do join us through our social media and get the latest update from our official website www.nepaltelevision.com. I am Aprila Gising Lama. Thank you for staying with us. Have a wonderful evening ahead.
Welcome to the studios of NTV World in Kathmandu. Public Service Broadcasting, PSB Nepal's new initiative to make Nepal more visible and audible to the global audience. Welcome on board.
This is NTV World, facts that speak, insights that matter.
Telling the stories of a changing planet. NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Exploring the heartbeat of Nepali creativity. This is NTV World.
The power of story shaped by technology. NTV World.
Unearthing Nepal's hidden heritage. Discovering the timeless Nepal.
Telling stories that endure across centuries. Where culture breathes, stories bloom.
When the world moves, we make a sense of it.
NTV World. Taste of Nepal. Every recipe, every flavor tells the story.
Journalism in the digital age. Fast, focused, verified.
Stories hold power. Stories reflecting life. Stories of the hinterlands. Reporting for NTV World.
This is NTV World. Welcome to News Hour.
This is NTV World. Welcome to Primetime News.
One story at a time.
Crossing borders, connecting voices, where Nepal meets the world in dialogue. This is NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Voices that connect Nepal to the world, bringing perspective, region and relevance to every story. NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Stand by. Mic is on.
3, 2, 1, cue.
We are NTV World.
Inside the quiet courtyard of Baber Mahal, colors seem to breathe on their own. This is Siddharth Art Gallery, home to some of Nepal's most defining contemporary art movements. Today, the gallery opens its doors to Mithila Cosmos, a universe imagined through the brush of artist S.C. Suman, a name inseparable from the evolution of gallery space.
म आफ्नो बच्चैदेखि हजुरआमालाई हेर्दै थिएँ भित्तामा उहाँ कोर्नुहुन्थ्यो अब भित्तामा कोर्दै जाँदाखेरि उहाँलाई हेर्दै आएर त्यसपछि म बच्चै बालकालदेखि नै स्कुल जाँदा अनि फुलहरू हेर्दा मलाई हजुरआमाले पेन्टिङ गर्नुहुन्छ त्यसमा रङ बनाउनुहुन्छ भनेर म उहाँको लागि बाटोमा खसेका फुल जोड्ने त अब जस्तो कि नेपाल एकाडेमी अफ फाइन आर्ट्समा म काउन्सिल मेम्बर हुँदाखेरि मैले आफ्नो देशको लोककलाहरूलाई हेर्न पाएँ म लोककला विभाग प्रमुख थिएँ हैन अनि त्यो हेर्दै जाँदाखेरि म पूर्वदेखि पश्चिमसम्म उत्तरदेखि दक्षिणसम्मका त्यो जिल्लाहरू भ्रमण गरेँ आफ्ना हाम्रा लोककलाहरूलाई हेरेँ हाम्रो भनिन्छ हाम्रो देशमा 123 126वटा भाषा बोलिन्छ त्यसका आफ्ना संस्कृति छन् आफ्ना चाहिँ रीतिथिति छन् त्यसभित्रका कलाहरू मैले हेर्न पाएँ र त्यो सबैलाई जोड्दै जाँदाखेरि एउटा आर्टिस्टले कसरी त्यो प्रभावित पार्दो रहेछ र त्यो स्टुडियोमा काम गर्दाखेरि त्यो एलिमेन्टहरू हेर्नु र त्यो एलिमेन्टलाई आफ्नो पेन्टिङमा चाहिँ समावेश गर्नु यो सहज रूपमा त्यो हुँदै जान्छ र यो सो ल्याउँदाखेरि चाहिँ तलको तल्लामा हामी चाहिँ हेर्छौँ क्यानभास वर्कहरू छ त्यसमा देवी कथा छन् गीताका सार छन् जीवनका त्यो कथाहरू छन् र त्यसमाथिमा आउँदाखेरि उपत्यकाका कथा छन् त्यसपछि जनकपुरको रामायण र अयोध्याको कथाहरू छ रामायणसँग जोडिएको कथा छ त्यसपछि बौद्ध कथाहरू आएका छन् त्यो सिरिजहरूलाई कसरी एक ठाउँमा हामी कसरी विभिन्न जाति समुदायहरू एउटा साझा फुलबाडी हो त्यसभित्रका संस्कृतिका कुराहरू त्यसभित्रका कुराहरू मैले ल्याउँदाखेरि मलाई त्यो आफैसँग आफूलाई परिचय गराउनु जस्तो र त्यो मैले कलाको माध्यमबाट बुझेर म यो कुरालाई म आफ्ना नयाँ पुस्ताहरूसम्म पनि यो चाहिँ यसरी हो हाम्रो देश यो मिथिला पेन्टिङ भनेको एउटा समुदाय क्षेत्र समुदायको विशेषको पेन्टिङ होइन यो नेपाली आर्ट हो यदि मिथिला पेन्टिङको नेपाली कलाको कुरा गरेँ भने मिथिला पेन्टिङलाई छोडेर त्यो नेपाली आर्ट पुरा हुँदैन भनेर मेरो बुझाइमा मैले यसरी यो एक्जिबिसनले ल्याएको
Mithila art carries centuries of tradition from Janakpur, from mythological narratives and wedding symbols to intricate floral motifs that speak of life, devotion, and identity. The power of Mithila painting lies in its detail. Every line, every border, every color has a purpose.
जब घुम्छ ऊ चाहिँ ट्राभल गर्छ चाहे त्यो देश विदेशको यात्रा होस् चाहे आफ्नो विषयवस्तु खोजी हिँड्छ र उसले अनुकरण गर्ने क्षमता मलाई लाग्छ उसँग धेरै हुन्छ उसको दिमागमा त्यो कुराहरू आइरहेको हुन्छ क्या त्यो आइरहेको र त्यो कतै न कतै कुरामा बसिरहेको हुन्छ अब जब स्टुडियोमा बिस्तारै काम गर्दै जाँदाखेरि एउटा आर्टवर्कसँग करिब करिब एक सप्ताह उसले बिताउँछ चाहे 15 दिनसम्म बिताउँछ त्यो विषयवस्तु र त्यसका त्यो फ्रेम अब्जेक्टहरूमा बिताउँछ र त्यसमा चाहिँ त्यसको दिमाग त खाली हुँदैन ऊ सोचिरहन्छ र सोचेर त्यो बिताएका क्षणहरूमा उसले चाहिँ आफ्नो कलाहरूमा त्यसलाई चाहिँ प्रस्कृत गर्दै जान्छ र त्यो अनुभव बटुलेका चिजहरूलाई उसले चाहिँ त्यतिखेर सम्झँदै उसले चाहिँ केही सम्झना आउँछ र केही नयाँ चिज ल्याउँछ पहिलो एक्जिबिसनहरू गर्दाखेरि त्यो छडिएको हुन्थ्यो जस्तो विभिन्न पेन्टिङहरूलाई ल्याएर एकै ठाउँमा गरेर त्यसमा एक्जिबिसन गरिएको जस्तो हुन्थ्यो त्यसपछि के भयो भने मेरो पहिलो मिथिला सोलो एक्जिबिसनको टाइटल पनि म्याथली आर्ट थियो त्यसपछि म्याथली आर्ट लिभिङ ट्रेडिसन भनेर आयो त्यसरी जबसम्म त्यो म्याच्योर हुँदै जान्छ कलाकारले 1-2 स्टेपहरू हुन्छन् त्यो एक्जिबिसनहरूको त्यसले अनुभव पनि बटुल्छ र बटुल्दै जाँदाखेरि भ्युअर्सहरूसँग भेट्छ जर्नलिस्टहरू भेट्छ क्रिटिक्सहरूसँग भेट्दै जाँदाखेरि त्यसको निखार आउँदै जान्छ साधनाको निखार आउँदै जान्छ र त्यो चाहिँ विषयवस्तुसँग जोडिँदै जान्छ र आज आएर यो फ्रेममा चाहिँ हामी हेर्न पाउँछौँ
Art becomes complete only when someone responds to it. In this gallery, every viewer sees something different. A memory, a symbol, a question, a reminder. What do the visitors find in this universe of Mithila?
Well, as an academician, I feel that Mithila painting is like a healing process to people. And this exhibition has expressed itself in a very beautiful way, expressing each and every motive which is present over here related to not only mythology, but also related to emotions of the people. And it is like a story work over here. The entire journey of Mithila has been depicted over here, which speaks volumes not only about the artist, but also about each and every object which has been portrayed over here.
Walking through these halls feels like traveling between timelines. The ancient and the modern coexist. Tradition is not frozen in the past. It evolves through those who carry it forward.
We feel like connected to Sumanji's works because he takes approach that's quite respectful, quite engaging and contemplative, and someone who speaks with contemplation, someone who prefers to remain in a discipline and work from the frame of that discipline. He had chosen the Mithila paintings framework, and he remains in that framework, and he stretches, expands the framework, and develops narrative power, descriptive power, that communicative power with that frame. And that's something amazing.
It may appear abstract at first glance, but spend a moment longer and stories begin to unfold of gods and goddesses, rituals and seasons, and the subtle emotions of everyday life. And within this rich visual grammar, Suman adds his own world, shaped by places he has lived, moments he has witnessed, and the history that surrounds him.
He was among the first generation artists of Mithila art. When he started his career from the kind of humble background he was in, with that financial background, very few people could actually make art and Mithila art in particular their primary career. So that is what separates him from other artists in that regard. However, I will also admit that a lot of other artists have also put in their contribution in the upliftment of Mithila art, and Mithila art has grown due to the collective effort of a lot of people.
From Vivaha Panchami in Janakpur to the lotus of Bodhanath, from the cosmic churn of Samudra Manthan to the silence of COVID lockdowns, Suman brings time onto canvas. His lines become memory, his colors become testimony.
Yeah, there are many favorites, you can see that. If you see that, there are each painting says some story. Like this is if you see this, you have the wedding, Mata Sita wedding with the Ram. There's the procession going on, and every painting you will see that there are the nature. The S.C. Suman painting is the nature he captures very nicely. The color combination you will find very rare artists. That type of eye-catching is that one. Many things are within the one paintings.
Mithila Cosmos reminds us that art is not only what we see, it is what we feel, return to, and carry within ourselves.
I have grown in a Mithila household. I've been very closely connected to the Mithila culture. I have been seeing Mr. Suman's exhibitions since a long time, and this is one of the third or fourth exhibition of his that I've been attending. So yeah, that I obviously know about what kind of paintings he does and what time does he conducts his exhibitions. So this is exactly how I found that he was gonna do an exhibition this year as well.
Has a similar sort of providing blessing sort of